Morning all, happy Monday. Welcome back to this week's vlog. So this is what I'm working on. If you can't find them by the food bowl, you will find them wherever the sun hits the floor. It is photo day. So we can pretend we're at Vineland's quite often. He's got barbecue goals now for when we get to America. I need hairdresser recommendations. Morning all, happy Monday. Welcome back to this week's vlog. It is another week of staging. So you will have seen last week we spent a lot of time doing sort of bigger tidying up jobs like sorting out the garden and jet washing and all of that kind of thing, and getting rid of some of the rubbish out of the garage. But this week, and for the next 2 days, it is all about staging. So our estate agent gave us like a seller's guide with a guide to how to stage your home for selling. This is the process, as they describe it, of cleaning, tidying and decluttering your home, ready for them to come and take all the photos. So yeah, I'm sure you can imagine you get a much better result when everywhere is looking much tidier and cleaner. Last week was, as I said, all about preparing the exterior, and now it's all about the inside. So preparing reception and bedrooms, opening curtains, things like that, making beds, fluffing up cushions. So this is what I'm working on today and tomorrow. So we're having to take as well. They also have got a little bit at the bottom, which is an interesting point, which is all about personal data. So they talk about making sure that all of your personal data is hidden away in drawers. So that could be letters with your addresses on, certificates with your names on, and if you've got certificate numbers on them. But it even includes things like photos, and not just necessarily photos of you, but photos of your family. And technically speaking, it is personal data. They make a statement that they're not responsible for the sharing of your personal data if you've not moved it out the way when they're doing the photographs. And so nobody can kind of be cross at them for putting it out there on the internet. So we've got to go around and take down all of the photos, or I'm just going to print on paper some nice, scenic pictures that I'm going to then put over the top of some of our photo frames. And where I can, I've took down photos and put up art and some bits of artwork that we've got and stuff. So just to try and depersonalise it a little bit for the photos. And I suppose also for when people come round. If something looks too personalised, you can't imagine yourself living there. Well, that's what I've been told. It's all about this whole staging thing. But it's a little bit odd, I can't lie, because it feels like you're depersonalising our house. And I know we've got to do that. And then I've just got to get over it and suck it up. And it's not going to be our house anymore. So, yeah. Interesting times. So I've done a bit in the conservatory. I've still got, as you can see, a load of Jacob's Lego on the side here that we've ordered some boxes for to put it in. And then I've got to go, we've emptied one cupboard out with a load of stuff that can just go to the tip because it's no good. So I've been able to move some of the clutter out of the lounge into that cupboard for now. So it's just basically literally shifting clutter from one cupboard to another to a bin bag to go to the tip. Oh, and then I've got to iron bedding because we need to put clean bedding on everywhere. Yeah, it's a week of house staging. They're coming Wednesday to do all the photos and to do a video of the house because I think I said previously that this estate agent comes and does like a walk around tour of the house, a little bit like, location or something. So they come in and do a house tour as part of the selling process. yeah, so we're going to at least have a nice little video of our home looking absolutely gorgeous as a memory, which will be nice. Anyways, better get back to it. Hope you're all having a good Monday, and come along with me while I tidy, declutter and hide stuff. So yeah, we've had a bit of a tidy up in the conservatory, and I've put the fuzzball top back on the base so that we can get rid of all of the stuff down there. I've got to try and figure out a bit of a tidy around that corner. I don't want to go too crazy though, but they're going to do like a 360 shot of the conservatory. These boxes need to go in the garage. As I said, waiting for the boxes to come to put that Lego in. And I need to get the Swiffer on that. Cellar spiders, I've got webs everywhere. So in here then, it's all about moving boxes. So Mark's got some computer bits that he's been selling down there. I've got some boxes there that need to be shipped out. Stuff that's being sold. And then the rest of the stuff in here is all about decluttering the work surfaces, clearing them off. And then obviously I need to just whiz a clean around the kitchen and vacuum and clean the carpets. Apparently we need to move all the dog beds as well. So that's going to have to go probably in the garage and their little basket of toys down there. So that all needs to come out. We need to take all the magnets off the thingy up there as well. And I'm contemplating putting the ninjas in the garage as well to clear the work surfaces off there. Because otherwise all the work surfaces look quite cluttered. So I'm contemplating doing that as well. Wash basket obviously needs to go back upstairs. That's what's left from the washing this week, as is all of the ironing that's left on there. So that is another thing to do today. I've got to try and get rid of that. I've got Finney's bed in there ironed to put on his bed. All of these pictures are okay because they are scenes from obviously Walt Disney World. And then I've put that in picture up there. I've got to do something with that photo up there as well. It's kind of even a bit more hilarious really when I think back now what I was just saying about what they said about personal data and covering up photos, because we're doing these videos and the whole lot's on YouTube, so should I really be that bothered? All those boxes again are going. Those are some new school shoes for Jacob. I'm contemplating taking that rug up as well because it doesn't really go. It was just bought to get us through the winter with all the muddy shoes. And I did clean that rug last week and look, it is dirty again already. Ah! The hall and the landing are all right. So there's nothing really to do in there. I kind of feel like I've got a bit of a handle on downstairs. Upstairs is a completely different story though. But we can only do one floor at a time because my brain's getting frazzled with it all, to be honest. And obviously Mark's got to work. So yeah. Okay, that's the dog. I'm going to let the dog out. So I've finished tidying up the conservatory and now I'm going to take all the magnets down. It's like a little bit weird because like once they're down, it's like pointless putting them back up after the photos have been taken. So it's like, are they potentially coming down for the last time? Or should we put them back up? This is very bizarre. Very, very, very bizarre. So who'd have thought taking fridge magnets off the cooker hood would be so difficult and challenging and leave such a mess. But luckily, I use this stuff to clean the work surfaces because obviously we've got white, like marbly type stuff. And I was like, oh, this gets stains off that. So can't recommend this enough to get stains off work surfaces. It's just worked on that stainless steel to get the magnet shapes off. There's still a few on there, but it certainly looks a million times better than it did. I was panicking a bit then. How on earth would you have got that off? But there we go. It's done. But seriously, on the basis that they've still left a couple of little marks after all that scrubbing and cleaning, they are not going back up before we go. They can stay down now. Hopefully they won't be too visible on the photos. I mean, I know they're there. Nobody else is going to know they're there, but I know they're there and I can see them like miles away. I'll have to see what Mark says when he comes down. See if he notices them. I mean, there's not a lot we can do about it, even if he does, because they're there. But that's really annoying. Who'd have thought that? Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. And we are back on with staging. But before we can move all of the stuff that's been moved out of the rooms to make it look better, we've got to find somewhere to put it all, which basically means the garage, which means the garage needs to be sorted. We've had a bit of a tidy up. I'm piling stuff for the tip down the front. And then I've got to try and sort all this mess out so that we've got somewhere to put the stuff that we're taking out the rooms. Fun times! So the garage has now been sorted. Don't get me wrong, there's still all stuff down the bottom of the garage because there's nothing we can do about that really. It's all stuff that we still need for the time being, may or may not come with us. So we're just going to end up having to pile everything down that end of the garage so that we can still utilise what was supposed to be my at-home gym. But at least we've got space to put some of the other stuff that we've got to hide for the photos tomorrow. So while we are working hard in the house, this is what Roxy Rui's doing. Yep, there she is, sunbathing. If you're familiar with the miniature dachshund, you will know generally, if you can't find them by the food bowl, you will find them wherever the sun hits the floor, or the sofa, or the bed, basically. Good morning from us, and it is photo day. Yes, today is the day when the house gets photoed, it gets videoed. And so we've pretty much done with our staging situation. Just got a couple of little bits of throwing the vacuum round, got to change our bed sheets, and wipe around in the kitchen after breakfast and stuff. So why not come along and see what happens when they take photos and videos of your house?
So we kind of decided to leave them to it. I think they were kind of glad that we decided to leave them to it. So we've come down to our local MacArthur Glen designer outlet. The sun is shining, so we can pretend we're in Florida for a little bit.
So we're going for coffee?
We're going for coffee. We're going for Starbies.
Or are we?
Or maybe.
Or are we going to the 200 degrees thing?
We'll see.
We're going there anyway because I need coffee beans.
We do need coffee beans.
And they smell fantastic because they look like a chocolatey.
They do. Well, so we're going to go and have a wander around here while a photographer, a videographer and the estate agent dissect our house for everybody else to decide whether they like it or not. Feels
Stuff if they don't.
very, very, very strange to have.
Strange. A stranger in yours.
Strange, to have left a complete stranger in our house and driven away from it whilst they record it. And
They could be sitting in the hot tub now, just drinking my beer out the fridge.
yeah,
He's probably not even a
my
estate
beer.
agent.
Hey,
I've got beer in there as well.
have you got beer in there as well?
There's no such thing as your beer. It's our beer and my beer.
You can see where this is going to work in Florida, can't you?
I don't have many things.
That's because our youngest son likes to eat all the same things you do these days. So Marky also did a bit of a check online yesterday, didn't you? At the visa thingy about the dates.
Yep. The NVC timeframes were updated yesterday, and as of the 10th of March, they're dealing with applications from the 25th of Feb. So I think we're probably just a day or two short of that. So I have a feeling we're probably going to end up in next week's round.
Possibly. Fingers crossed we'll be in next week's round of visa pile.
The 17th on Monday. So yeah, sometime next week, which is kind of what I've anticipated. By the third week of March, we sort of said we should see the MVC stuff.
Hopefully.
And then the lawyers are going to want a load of more money off us. So
they are. So we better not spend a lot here at the outlet.
No, I'm going to propose that. In fact, let's just drive off.
So here we are then at the Designer Outlet, West Midlands, which isn't too far from where we live. So we can pretend we're at Vinelands quite often. It's not as big as the other ones though that we have. You know, the one down in, the one up in Chester and the one down in Oxford way. But they've still got some of your typical places, which is exactly the reason why I said, just like being at Vinelands. So here's the coffee spot for coffee beans. This is where we're going to head for coffee, at least to get beans to start with. Ooh, cake.
Oh yeah, like a bit of mix.
So this then is a Morello Cherry Blondie. Sounds very good. And they've got a special latte, which is a honeycomb latte. I'm going to give that a whirl. Is it good? It's a bacon back.
It's got bacon on it.
It's got bacon on it. Let's give this little beauty a try. Much to Mark's dismay, my thought process is that we better have a little bit of a look for holiday. Whilst we don't want to get a lot, the kids have grown a bit, so we might need to have a little look at some stuff for April for the boys while we're here. We've now come to the local garden centre to pass more time because we still can't go back home yet. And we found the barbecue section.
And these ones are made in America.
Yeah. This is not something that we can do here right now. Look at these bad boys. Mark's looking forward to being able to be out in America. And I'm not going to need to cook anymore because he's going to be the barbecue king. And literally, we're just going to eat cooked meat all the time. That is basically the way this is going to roll.
Brisket and steak, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Sausage.
Sausage?
Sausage.
That would be Jacob's preference. So interesting then. So this is a broil king. It is £899. Oh my god, it's got a spit in it as well. How much are these things in America? That's an interesting one, isn't it? Even like got the automated like spinny thing on it as well. He's got barbecue goals now for when we get to America.
Outside kitchen.
It's proper outside. Is it going to have a rotisserie on it though?
I'm not bothered about that because I'm only eating brisket and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. We've just had the message to say we can now go home, which is really funny. We're now allowed to go back to our own house.
They've robbed us and stole everything.
Yeah, now we can go back.
I'm laughing. If that is the case, then I'm...
we're not going to be laughing
not
at
great,
that
is
point.
it?
No.
I'm pretty sure we're fine.
Although, we've just been walking around the garden centre, and as we've been walking out, this like really bizarre sense about the fact that like we're just in this real horrible limbo place now. Like,
because we can't do anything. We can't do anything here. It just doesn't make sense to.
Well, no, it's not like even that. Like, we want to be there, but we're not there yet. We're here. The house is going up for sale. We're waiting for the visa people. Then we'll be waiting for the consulate. And like, literally, we can't do anything to speed anything up. Like, it's the frustration, the fact that there's literally nothing we can do
to make
anything go any faster now.
We'll wait on all the people, innit?
Yeah, very much in limbo.
Yeah, it's a bit rubbish when you think of it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even that said, 5 weeks time, we go on holiday for 2 weeks anyway.
We do. We are. We're going on holiday, and we get to go there, so we get to go and do some fun stuff.
And then we come back, so that's, you're talking 7 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's probably only going to be like another month. The 6 weeks after that, maybe 8 weeks.
Yeah. I suppose we've got to pack everything up and stuff like that. Although it's already half packed in the garage, to be fair. And I'm looking at all that stuff in the garage and thinking, when we said we're not going to need a full container, we're definitely going to need a full container.
Think about a bit 20, even a half container is 20 foot.
I don't know that. I just can't contextualise that, to be honest.
It's like the size of our lounge.
Okay.
Floor and ceiling, you know, the whole
Yeah.
yellow car, kind of.
Kind of another faded one.
Yeah, there we go.
So, yes, we're on our way back home now, and then we'll have to put the house back together, some kind of livable state.
Actual yellow car.
And that is an actual yellow car, yeah. So, we'll see you in a bit. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you've all had a good week. I don't think I actually concluded Wednesday in any way, shape or form, so apologies. Still getting used to this whole weekly vlogging thing, and I was never very good on our travel channel at ending days. So considering it a work in progress. We obviously concluded everything on Wednesday with the estate agents finishing up the photos. We're relatively happy. So the plan is for it to be listed on Sunday, but we'll talk about that later, because I'm just out and I'm running into the hairdressers now because we've got a root situation going on. I know we're supposed to grow old gracefully, but as the song says, I'm desperately trying to hold back the years. So yes, I'm going to get my roots sorted out, which brings me to a very important point for anybody out there in Florida, Orlando now. I have been somebody that's gone to the hairdressers to get my hair done. I need hairdresser recommendations. And I know that's going to be very tied to areas and localities. You know, we're kind of, as we said, I think in one of our other videos in the Q&A thing, our favourite kind of location at the moment is sort of the Winter Garden, Windermere area is kind of where we're targeting. So if you've got any hairdresser recommendations, please let me know. Also tell me, how much does it cost? How much does it cost to get your roots done and a bit of a trim? I'd be really interested to know. And at the moment, I'm currently at every 4-week girl, and I think that's going to have to change. So I think I might have to try and do a bit of a mix of box dyeing at home and hairdressers, because I'm going to imagine it's very expensive out there. So yes, looking for recommendations and prices. Jacob's going to meet me here by the hairdressers because it's right by his school. So I'll show you the progress later, and then we'll wrap up the week because we've got a few other little bits and bobs that have happened, so it'd be good to chat through those with you. So I'll see you shortly. It is now obviously a few hours later. The roots are gone and I'm back home, and it is dark outside. It is the night time and really the end of this week's vlog. But before we go, Marky, we've had an update this week, haven't we?
Yes.
And so, coming closer. What was our update?
We have had we've had an email from the MVC. Well, I was copied in on an email from the MVC that was actually sent to our lawyers, and it was. Oh, look, I've got no neck. Hold on. There we go, Spell. Yeah, so we had an email from the MVC, or the lawyers had an email from the MVC where we were copied in to say that they have received our application from the USCIS, and they've now issued a case number for the MVC and sent us a link to pay the fees, which we can't do because it's going to be done from a US bank account, so the lawyers are going to do it. So I've now sent the money to the lawyers. Yeah, so now they've got to, I think we've got to wait for them to send the fees, then we've got to wait for the MVC to kind of acknowledge receipt of them. And then they unlock the...
Hey Finn.
Is Pepe's Puri going to come?
No, I've cancelled it.
Have you actually?
No.
I'm joking.
It's unexpected.
What?
Yeah, so we've got to wait for them to essentially acknowledge receipt of funds. They unlock the little button then that says you can now apply, and then the lawyers are going to fill all the forms in for us and make sure all the documentation's there. So, yeah, kind of figured, I'm thinking about another 2 weeks.
So that was welcome letter, wasn't it?
2 weeks? Yes, it was. Yeah, I think that's what it's classed as, the welcome letter, because it's got all of the
instructions in for next steps.
IINs and BINs and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, it came faster than we were expecting.
Did.
We weren't expecting to receive this letter until probably next week, the end of next week.
Yeah.
Because based on the timelines that you'd seen on that update website thing,
Yeah, well,
it was suggesting...
Yeah, well, they suggested that they weren't, as of the 10th of March, they were only looking at visa application, visa acknowledgements from USCIS as of the 25th of Feb. And because ours officially didn't go through until the 27th, I kind of figured that it wouldn't even be registered there until next week. So we're kind of a week ahead of where we thought we'd be. Fun time!
Winning! Over to the lawyers to transfer the money and get those documents filed. And then my little update kind of relates to schools. I had reached out to the local school in the area we're looking to be in for Jacob, so what would be middle school, to see whether there was any chance that whilst we are obviously in Florida in April, as to whether we could possibly bring him over to get a bit of a tour of the school, to meet some of the staff, especially given his autism, familiarisation and making place not so scary, and getting the opportunity to go regular times is really beneficial for him. But sadly, that is not something that's allowed in the district. They replied by email to say that unfortunately the district restricts tours around schools from basically a safety perspective. I kind of went back and reiterated, so are you basically saying that he really wouldn't get to meet anyone or see the school till his actual first day of attending? And that's pretty much what they've said. So that is going to be an interesting thing for us to manage. So what we have said for the time being is on that basis, we can't do any prep for school until we're there, living there in the school zones. So trying to plan ahead, think ahead is a pointless exercise. So we're just going to push that to the side and deal with schooling and education when we get there. And we will review and revisit all of that side of things once we're in situ. So yeah, that's just a heads up for those of you looking into the same thing. Basically, you get in no further forward until you're living in a school zone. If you're looking at public schools, that is. We don't know the situation with private schools because that's not necessarily the road we're going down, or it wasn't, but we will see what transpires when we get there. Brings us to the end of this week's vlog, basically.
It's been a manic one.
It has.
Can't believe it's Friday.
No, I know. House photos are done. Listings approved.
Yes.
Waiting on a copy of the video, which should have been being done today.
Yeah, we've not seen anything yet.
Not seen anything yet, but so there's a possibility that could still be done and ready tomorrow for the house to go live on Sunday.
Let's hope so. He did say work over the weekend.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the end of another week, as far as our vlog goes.
And the house is officially going.
And
it's up for sale on his website.
Technically, it's up for sale right now.
We could just sell the house, forget Florida, and just go on a massive bender for like a week. Let's go to Vegas and just go for it.
Then what do we do? Yeah, let's not do that.
I wouldn't. I couldn't go to Vegas and stick a tenner on, let alone. I think I'd feel guilty.
No, I know.
Can you imagine? People do that.
They would,
to
wouldn't
Vegas
they?
and they put like 100 grand down, 200 grand down.
I don't know how they do it. They've obviously got more money than sense, literally.
Obviously.
So yes, this is the end of this week's vlog. Hope you've enjoyed seeing, again, more of our journey and what's happened this week. Next week, I'm not really sure what is going to crop up. Other than, I do know. So we have started making inquiries towards packing up stuff and
moving.
shipping.
Yeah, so I, on Tuesday of next week, I've got a telephone meeting, interview, tour, walk around thing with one of the providers.
Yeah.
So we'll get an understanding next week of what it's going to take to pack everything up and ship it.
So come back next week to find out all about how that goes and shipping.
Shipping from the UK.
And if there's anything else that crops up in the meantime, we will keep you up to date. As I've said previously, if you've not watched any of our other vlogs, go and check some of those out. There may be some useful information for you in there.
More importantly, hit the subscribe button. I think it's probably that side. It's down here
It'll appear somewhere.
Hit subscribe. It helps the channel massively. Both this channel and the other one. It's,
If you like holidays to Orlando, you can always check out An Awfully Big Adventure channel and go and watch that one there. Otherwise, give us a thumbs up. And if you've got any questions about anything that we've talked about this week, or just drop them in the comments below. And otherwise, we will see you next week.
Ciao.
Bye for now.